Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the general daily collective message for Thursday, October the 27th. Keep in mind, timing and energy is still fluid. These energies could play out today or over the next several days. This message may or may not be for you, so I do ask that you only take with you the messages that resonate and leave behind the rest. The energy is feeling quite challenging when it comes to maybe our ways of thinking, releasing these outdated thought problems. And I do feel the energy is bringing forward an opportunity to question what it is that you've accepted when it comes to the version of your life, and maybe digging a little bit deeper when it comes to either your hidden motivations or the hidden motivations of another, when it comes to some misguided influences or some corrupting influences. And so it's this questioning when it comes to power struggle dynamics. Are you in a relationship that is fair, that is ethical, that is validating your emotions? Because I feel with Pluto square Mercury, it is creating the way that it's creating this challenge with the way that we think about things. And so Mercury is thinking, communication, Pluto is death, transformation. And so I feel the depths of our thoughts are leading us to immerse ourselves in a lot of deep-seated emotions that maybe we were afraid to go into, or maybe we didn't have the strength to handle the depth of these emotions prior to this energy shift. And so we can't keep trying to convince others of our own beliefs, right? We have to have our own beliefs. We have to be rooted in our own foundation. And so I do feel there's the possibility of an intense karmic encounter with another in order to shift your thinking and the view of the world. And so you might find yourself in a very intense karmic threatening situation over the coming days, creating a major crisis when it comes to a family foundation, in order to get you to experience the darker sides of humanity, because we can't fully step into the light until we immerse ourselves into the darkness. And usually this is done with a rich karmic life experience, right? And so get ready to maybe face some strong opposing opinions over the coming days that are going to subject you to some criticism of some sort. And so there's this risk that extreme and coercive methods might be used to lead somebody astray. And I do want to say, the more force you use to convince another, the more criticism and conflict you're going to meet in your own life. We can't force connections. We can't force somebody to believe in what we believe in. And so it is this energy of becoming super defensive under these cosmic influences. And so don't let your fighting spirit back you into a corner of your own making, further complicating any relationship issues. So it's this deep urge to dig a little bit deeper. This morning, I actually had a huge emotional purge in the shower, just as the Scorpio moon was rounding the 29-degree mark. And so a lot of emotions are kind of coming to the surface in order to get us to investigate the truth of what it is that we're embedded in or entangled in. And so it's the energy of uncovering secrets, deepening your understanding of your own personal psychology. And so I think what I want to say is the angels are encouraging us all to kind of take the high road, and we do that by keeping an open mind and not playing into arguing just for the sake of arguing with somebody. Do you want to win, or do you want to win and be right, or do you want to just be happy? And so part of a positive transformation when it comes to our intellectual, psychological processing is understanding our communication style and understanding that not everybody speaks our same love language, right? And so we also had the moon transition into Sagittarius early this morning. And today it is forming a trine to Jupiter in Aries retrograde at 0 degrees 03. And so Sagittarius always brings forward this great need to search for something transcendental, to search for something more. But in order to feel safe to do this, we have to be rooted in our own personal philosophy, in our own personal beliefs. And so it's this goal or mission energy coming forward when it comes to our life's meaning, our life's purpose. And we're going to have unwavering faith when it comes to fighting against these dogmas and these paradoxing events which can further lead us down the spiraling rabbit hole, right? And so with the moon also in the second house of Scorpio today, this is heralding massive changes when it comes to financial affairs. The second house deals with money, material matters, self-worth, self-value, our sense of emotional security is always dependent on all of these things combined together. And so normally the second house is ruled by Taurus, which is the physical energy, the tangible energy. And with the second house, with the inverse energy of Scorpio, get ready to be surprised and shocked at a revelation when it comes to somebody that's been cunning and greedy around you. And so emotional satisfaction should never ever become dependent on material comforts, because the material world can be stripped from you in an instant. And so there's likely to be some sort of financial difficulties presented over the coming days that will create a deep sense of emotional insecurity. And this is going to have a strong impact on some false family structures. And so this is really an aspect where we're going to likely be feeling in our element to be able to make some tough decisions to flow towards our life purpose. And so if you're in a position where things have been going well, quite smoothly, we're going to be able to stabilize pretty easily with these energies. But if you've been in a very difficult karmic situation, there's likely going to be some type of turn of events today that's going to help you find something more positive to focus on. And so I was on a date yesterday. I went to the local Wednesday market and went out for lunch. It was a beautiful day. Although it was raining, we made the most of it. And so I was actually quite surprised. There was like a crystal booth at the Wednesday market, and I was actually disappointed. Years ago, long before COVID and all of these restrictions, I remember this market used to be packed, and there really wasn't a whole lot of vendors left. I'm actually considering maybe booking a vendor table to work at the market. But I came across this booth, and they had a few decks of cards, and I have never ever seen this deck anywhere before, and what drew me to it was the crow. And I have an affinity to the crow energy. I actually rescued a crow a couple of springs ago. Was it in the spring? I'm not sure if it was the spring or the fall, but there was a crow that was hit by a car right in front of my house that injured its wing and its leg, and nobody would come and help me rescue this crow. I called my ex Karmic, and he kind of laughed in my face as my daughter and I were crying because we were watching this bird suffer. And the crow holds a significant spiritual meaning. And where I'm from, in Chatham, Ontario, we're known as Crow City. So every fall, the crows migrate here for the winter, and I've noticed the crows are coming back. And so crows hold some wisdom, right? Crows are one of the most intelligent creatures, and so you don't want to have bad karma with crows, right? You want to befriend them because they remember everything. And so I'm going to use this deck today. It's actually really cute. It reminded me when I opened it up. I'll show you some of the imagery on the cards. So it's all animals, right? And so what I thought when I opened the deck and played with it a little bit yesterday was like, it reminded me of the movie Sing. If you've ever watched the movie Sing, and I'm big on musicals, music, and of course, Disney movies and kids movies. And so we're going to pull in with this deck today. But before we start pulling in with the tarot, I'm going to use the Enchanted map. I connected with a really good friend yesterday, and we kind of pulled some cards really quick, and she's closing out a major karmic cycle. I would never mention your name, but the energy's been heavy. And it's been a huge reflection of the karmic cycle that I've had to close out as a mother, and the strength it takes to walk away from somebody that you truly love, but knowing that they're not good for you. And so it's that battle between the head and the heart. So I thought, let's use this deck today, along with the tarot of curious creatures. And I'm also going to pull in with the tea leaves. So let's see what needs to come through with the cards, guys. Look at that. Heal the ouch. In order to heal the ouch, we have to feel the pain, right? And that does take immense strength. So we're going to leave these out, they're saying, because it's kind of time to make that choice, right? We are at this very pivotal place on the spiritual journey where we're being presented, you know, do you want to evolve, and grow and make that decision to step into the void, into the unknown? Or do you want to stay where you're at? And do you want to stay stuck and repeat the cycle again, right? Because we're all presented with the choice. We all have the choice of free will. And so it's a matter of finding your inner divinity, your inner strength to heal the root cause of these patterns, right? And so somebody here, I feel, is at a cross in the road when it comes to a union of some sort. And so we can always choose to reunite with spirit, or we can choose to go into the depths of the darkness, and both take strength. Different types of strength. We can lean into the strength of our spiritual source, or we can go into the strength of the ego, right? Which is always going to distort our perceptions. And so somebody here has some deep-seated wounds that I feel need to be healed. Oh, and then my deck just was upside down. And so sacred pool in reversed, home in reversed. Are you really where your heart belongs, right? Because home is where the heart is. And so we can choose to repeat these cycles, absolutely, or we can walk through the doorway of this new sacred experience. And so the sacred pool, too, is entering into the sacred waters of our emotions. I just noticed 11:11 as I said that. And so we are on the precipice of this great awakening to our conscious identity and everything. And it takes strength to sit with our past karma, our past decisions, and to bring this into our awareness in order to embrace the healing journey. So we're going to see what else needs to come through. I do think I want to read into the book when it comes to healing the ouch. And then we get this balancing act. And so Libran energy. And so it's like this energy of walking on a tightrope, right? Balancing the emotions in our heart, the thoughts in our head, and reaching a place of union of self, right? That is an 11 card. And so the scales of justice, entering deep into the dragon's lair, which is going into the past life memories, the past life karma, facing our inner dragon, our inner beast, and that does take strength. And if you notice, this is a 19 card, which is associated with karmic debt, with the ego, narcissism, extreme codependencies, and finding the strength to overcome that. And it's kind of time to come back to life. So now I'm hearing that song, Evanescence. Is that? I don't even know. Bring me to life, breathe me back to life, because somebody's been stuck for a long time. The elephant heralds a lot of spiritual wisdom. And so I feel somebody's been stuck in a false commitment, being encouraged to go towards a higher love. That was interesting too yesterday. So many weird things. When you're in the flow, these things happen, and there's just like, wow, right? So I was sitting in the car picking up the girls from school yesterday, and it was A Higher Love by Whitney Houston. And then the radio went blank, went dead. And I was like, what the heck? And when it came back on, it was the song Perfect by Ed Sheeran. So I thought, okay, so somebody here does have a perfect vision of who they want to have that union with, and stepping into these higher loves, these higher dimensions. But we do have to bring ourselves back to life, and we do have to get ourselves unstuck. And so somebody, I feel, has been on a very long spiritual journey. And this is the energy of rising from the phoenix after going into the depths of these shadow aspects of self. So let's read into the book with Heal the Ouch, a 38 card, which also breaks down to an 11. And so 11:11, there's that balancing act, right? 11:11. And so it is a process, a fine balancing act of, mastering our inner polarity and reaching that 0 point and coming into union of self. And so it does require strength to release these lower cycles and to close out a karmic cycle. And coming to life is 29. And so it's interesting that I had that huge purge around the 29-degree mark of the Scorpio moon. And so we've been immersed in this shadowy depth. And so now it's time to come back to life. We also have Mars about to go retrograde. And so the biggest message, I think, today, forgiveness is the healer of the soul. And so it's time to soothe our own heart, our own body, our own soul, and our own mind. And so big time healing is prevalent now in all of our individual lives and collectively. And so You might feel drawn to healing arts, esoterics, really restoring your overall health and wellness coming up here. And so somebody here, all of us here actually are being called to change these negative behaviors, to find structure and order, because we did come here to not only heal ourselves, but to heal the earth. And as Mother Earth's vibration rises, we have to rise to meet her by purging all of these low dense energies within us. And so it might mean, you know, switching up your diet, eating less meat, drinking more water, cutting out the sugar, the carbs, whatever, right? Maybe even paying attention to how much electricity you use, anything to conserve, right? And so this is also a huge indicator of bringing all of these old wounds to the surface, facing all of these past broken bonds in order to mend ourselves. And so many times we wait for closure from another person, and the ultimate is creating that closure for yourself. And so a reconciliation is possible now, even if it's just reconciling these differences within yourself. It is the energy of letting bygones be bygones. So somebody here, I feel, is also being urged to make amends for any harm that they've done to another in the past. I feel this underlying guilt when it comes to a lack of honesty. Somebody here, I feel, has been very selfish, very greedy, and very inconsiderate of somebody that they've deeply hurt. And they're in their shadow energy, finding the strength to face what they have done to another. And so somebody, I feel, has really harbored a lot of resentment towards the person that they have harmed. And so this past resolution needs to be brought to the surface. So radical forgiveness is going to be needed in order for freedom. So somebody, I feel, is making a choice to maybe bring something back to life from the dead. Self-love and self-care is really important when we go through the forgiveness journey. And so we all have imperfections when it comes to our psyche, our personality. We've all faced levels of trauma, and no two journeys are the same, and no two traumas, you know, like my trauma isn't worse than yours. It's not a competition of how much pain and trauma you've gone through. We all experience what we need to experience to reach the level of consciousness that we signed up for this lifetime. And so there's no competition here in whose pain was worse than the other. And so somebody's being told to walk tall. We all have the choice to take the path of the shaman, to learn these lessons, to step into our own wisdom from our own life journey. But we do have to be willing to go into the depths of the shadows and to bring this healing light into these old wounds. And so somebody is in the depths of some darkness here. And I do feel we are protected while we go into this internal shift. Somebody's life, I feel, has gotten way out of alignment. They need to tread carefully and be super aware of their surroundings, because there's a redirection to get back on path. And so something has been challenging somebody when it comes to their core beliefs, and they know that it's time to change for the better. And so somebody here is not living their life to the fullest. They're living their life in a safety net. And so somebody's courage is being tested when it comes to going into a new experience. But the choice is always yours, right? We always have free will choice on the journey. And so it's time to kind of face these challenges and to go into this new unknown territory. And so can't keep ignoring the red flags. You can't keep being seduced into learning a lesson that's only going to keep hurting your heart. Temptation is around every single day. We get tempted, right? We get tempted, and there's always something glittery and shiny trying to lead us astray. And so you can never win when you play into these temptations. And so there's a warning, I think, coming through too. Somebody's been living in a fantasy world, thinking that they belong to somebody, and you belong to nobody but you and God. And so there's a connection here that really has no true sustenance, substance, or longevity. And somebody's really been ignoring the alarms and the red flags, and they've been wandering in this endless circle of this dragon's lair. And so I think it's time to choose another path. Is kind of what's coming through. So let's see what else needs to come through with the tea leaf deck today. It's time to come back to life, to know your worth, to know your value, because I do feel Somebody's stuck in a karmic entanglement here, and there's not going to be success until you unbreak yourself, unknot yourself. I also feel this underlying secret admirer too, and maybe there is somebody stuck in a karmic contract the whole time, dreaming about going towards somebody that they do want to be with, but afraid of the unknown. Maybe there's fear of rejection here, and maybe by December, this secret admirer will find the strength to break free and come forward. And so I do feel there's going to be some challenges ahead. The mountain, it's like the goat energy, right? You don't stop climbing the mountain just because things are challenging. And so when things get challenging, you're encouraged to keep going, right? Because you are on the road to success. So there is a dealings or relation here with a fair or gray-haired man. I feel this man has a secret crush on somebody, and I feel a masculine here in the depths of some shadow energy when it comes to healing a connection from the past, where I think they either betrayed somebody or deeply hurt them. And so I feel a masculine here in some great personal sorrow and is experiencing some heartbreak over something they no longer have. I think somebody got tempted and led astray, and now some third eye activations coming forward and some truth. It's like stabbed in the heart and you're to blame, right? Oh, is that one? I took an arrow to the heart, right? And it's the energy, I've never tasted another kiss like yours. And so there is a masculine here, very much struggling, going through a lot of sorrow, a lot of grief, family sorrow. There is a spiritual connection here where the roots run deep. We could be talking to somebody born in December, could be dealing with a Sag or a Capricorn. It doesn't have to be. But I feel deep personal sorrow, and I feel somebody needs to get some advice from a close friend. Maybe this masculine is reaching out to a friend that they do feel is loyal. Maybe they've received poor advice. It's hard to say. But I also feel could be dealing with the Pisces with the fish on the card. But this is a time of increasing our material wealth through spiritual growth and transformation. So I do feel a masculine here going through some type of transformation. Maybe getting untangled by the month of December. But they're struggling with some pride and some ego issues. So let's see what needs to come through with the tarot. So this man very well could be a Pisces, would have Pisces, or be born in December. It doesn't have to be. You might be born in December. But let's see what needs to come through with the tarot. We're going to do a 9-card spread. We're going to see what else needs to come through. We do have a masculine going through the Dragon's Lair. We got the Emperor reversed, the 4 of Wands, the 3 of Swords in reversed, and the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So there was definitely something unfair, unjust. There is definitely a masculine that I feel has tried to avoid going into this great personal sadness. I feel a masculine here whose entire world is getting flipped upside down, likely been dealing with a Queen of Wands in reversed. We got the 9 of Wands in reversed. We got the Magician in reversed. Oh, the only upright card in the deck or in the spread right now is the 4 of Wands, and that is like a twin soul union energy. And so very interesting. We get the Tower as the final outcome with the 6 of Cups in reversed. And so there's without a doubt been a major injustice here. And whatever secrets were buried deep within, they are being unearthed with the High Priestess in reversed. So for me, when the Justice card comes out in reverse, this is righting some past wrongs because somebody's life is very much out of balance. Nothing is balanced at all. Dealing with a feminine, a very controlling, jealous, possessive feminine who does not know her worth and does not know her value. And I feel 2 people have been in a union pretending like this is my life partnership and I'm just going to hold on to this because it's better than the devil I don't know, to avoid going into the depths of this heartbreak. And there's stress. sleepless nights, nightmares. Somebody I feel has been haunted by spirit when it comes to some past manipulative behavior. The Magician in reversed is a master manipulator. And I do feel there is a lot of gossip surrounding a connection that is coming to a close, that two people have been in a power struggle. The Emperor reversed does not have good morals, good values. He's a tyrant without his true pair and his true pairing on the board. And there's going to be an unexpected shakeup because somebody cannot keep running from their shadows, cannot keep running from this truth, and there is going to be an ending. And this has been a long, tiring journey. Maybe 3 years to come to this conclusion of, hey, this is not meant for me. This is an ending. And two people here have held on due to maybe the beginning stages. And so maybe there was a lot of love bombing in the beginning. The Emperor reversed will love bomb, right? To get you where he wants you so he can manipulate and control you. And this Emperor, I feel, is going through a shock of some sort. I think maybe they've been going within, going through a period of disillusionment and coming out of the fog, coming out of the confusion and realizing like this is not my wish fulfillment. Somebody here is realizing this is not my wish fulfillment. I do think this hurts. And there's that Queen of Wands. So something about the moon shifting into Sag. Maybe this Queen of Wands is angry, lashing out, and somebody here has lacked some drive and some motivation to break free from a connection where there's been a lot of gossip. There's been a lot of people in the mix, and there is going to be an unexpected shakeup, and you're not going to be able to avoid this because it's kind of time to face the music that this is over. There's no cards that indicate balance or love here. And this was an illusion in order to, avoid dealing with some past heartbreak, which I feel has now surfaced with a vengeance. And so you could be dealing with an Aries, a Gemini, a Virgo, could be dealing with a Pisces or a Libra, but something hidden has come to light. Somebody's buried these deep psychological issues, and now they're surfacing, and there's nowhere left to hide. So let's look a little bit deeper into this Emperor. I do feel he has fair hair, likely an older gentleman, could be even gray hair, but this is either going to be a confession coming forward or secrets coming to light. So the Seven of Swords, we've got an Emperor in reverse. We've got a divine masculine coming through who's not being very divine right now. It's played into his shadow self and went down the beaten pathway. There was likely lying in the past, cheating in the past, stabbing in the back, and somebody's been caging up this truth, been masking this truth, and there is going to be some type of exposure because we have a masculine here that feels he's in a hopeless situation. He can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. He could have Aquarius in his chart. The star is ruled by Aquarius, coming to the realization of maybe I sabotage wish fulfillment, and it's kind of time to move on from a bad decision here, something that is not bringing me hope, bringing me faith. It's kind of time to get in the driver's seat and go. And so I do feel, is that a camel or a donkey? I think somebody's feeling like a jackass for a poor decision. So let's look at this Queen of Wands reversed, illumination, the Sun, the Five of Wands, and the King of Pentacles in reversed. So I do feel there's a Queen of Wands here coming into the light, coming into some truth of a very challenging situation. There's definitely been a power struggling dynamic here. Two hyenas, I think, wanting to one-up each other. Two people fighting, wanting to one-up each other. I feel somebody here is like really having a hard time staying grounded. I feel a Queen of Wands in reverse that, has been trying to create a challenging power struggling dynamic here. And maybe she's like going after this person's money, but I feel a King of Pentacles here in reverse that really is not loyal, stable, grounded. Maybe, is struggling financially. Definitely somebody that's really not invested in this connection. And I feel a Queen of Wands coming to the conclusion of it's kind of time to break down this false foundation. And maybe this masculine will be experiencing total financial ruin. He's definitely not experiencing victory in his life. And so this is like a conscious release of a wound, going into the depths of the wound with the Nine of Wands in reverse, consciously choosing to face this wound. And so we got a Queen of Wands here too that I feel is deeply hurting. We got two lionesses. And so we are in the year of the tiger too. And so this is the year where women step into their worth and their value, right? And so I feel a Queen of Wands here that is definitely coming to the conclusion of, I just can't win with this person. And I've allowed myself to stay stuck, depressed, suppressed, holding on to a third-party situation. And I got to lift my head up and look up and go towards a new beginning here. There is going to be a new beginning here. The universe is trying to gift this Queen of Wands in reverse a new opportunity, but she's going to have to go through this very painful ending. Something is ending. Scorpio, it's like the Grim Reaper is coming, because it's time for somebody to shift their perceptions within this situation and to find their strength, to recognize what a foolish decision this was. We got the Fool 2.0. So the Fool 2.0 is, hey, we gave you an opportunity for a new beginning. You chose to repeat a cycle, and now the past is coming back to bite somebody in the butt. And so the Fool 2.0 in reversed, and it's going to take strength to break free from this situation. So let's take a look at this Tower, Six of Cups reversed, because it's over. This is the end. And it's kind of time to remove the rose-colored glasses, to take the blinders off, and that is the tiger. So we could have a feminine here, born the year of the tiger, and there's been a lot of juggling, a lot of indecision, a lot of back and forth. I don't know. Twos are all about partnerships, decisions, and crossroads, and we got a feminine coming to the conclusion of she's held on because she's not known her worth and her value. And there is a long-standing committed partnership coming to an end, the Hierophant, in order for a feminine to transform her life and know her worth and her value. So we could be dealing with a Taurus or a Libra or somebody with a Taurus North Node, because that would coincide with the year of the tiger. But coming to the conclusion of, this is not my happily ever after. It is time to go through this realignment and to have that blind faith to go forward, and to maybe make an unexpected choice to exit and depart a situation, because you know what? The veil of illusion has been shattered. No more confusion. No more illusion. I'm all done playing into this fantasy, this illusion. This was not my happily ever after. And I do think emotions are going to be running deep. So let's take a look at the Magician reverse, because this masculine was a master manipulator. I think two people quickly going in a new direction, because it's kind of time, right? With the Seven of Pentacles, we've been stuck for a long time. Two people thinking about their happiness and staying stuck in a situation that's not their happiness, coming to the conclusion of, it's time to learn something new. It's time to maybe have that conversation, a long overdue conversation, to get somebody unstuck, right? So the Page of Swords, the Eight of Swords does kind of equal like the Nine of Swords. And so somebody's really been stuck in an imprisonment of their own making for a long time. An old mindset, fear, getting untangled, speaking that truth, having that conversation. And, you know, and I do feel all of this was stemming around self-worth and self-value. Maybe two people that didn't want to be alone jumped into a situation because they were afraid to be alone, and learning independence. Definitely gaining that higher perspective, Pisces energy. So let's get a couple last messages with the Crystal Stone deck. Now I hear my dog wants in. I left her out there because she was not listening. She was being so stubborn. And now she is, she's barking. So we'll get one last message here, guys, and we're going to call it a day. Go with your heart. Somebody definitely has been begging the universe, asking the universe, what do I need to do with my life? I hate this relationship. I hate my job. I've wasted a lot of time on people that weren't worth my energy. And I feel somebody is going through a heart awakening, begging for answers, because I feel a relationship cycle that has brought somebody way down. Maybe you were a people pleaser. Maybe you wanted to play into this facade because of the status quo it brought you. But when you own up to the truth, when you are ready to get real, then you can actually rapidly go in a new direction. But it does require choosing from the heart, you know, and with your logic. And so I do feel somebody is going through a realignment. It's going to feel like a meteorite is hitting somebody's life, because they've been living with their eyes wide closed, and it's kind of time to open up your eyes and see things at face value. And so I also feel a masculine here that would like to have a chat with somebody that feels galaxies away, that maybe they betrayed in the past. And so I do feel somebody is opening up to dealing with this heavy heart. Somebody's had a heavy heart about something that they've been ignoring. And there is going to be a major breakup or a major disappointment that somebody's really beating themselves up about. And it's kind of time to go towards light, because there was definitely something hidden here. There's going to be an existential crisis. And I think maybe somebody held on because of the big heart that they have. But you can't keep staying stuck in the past. And you can't overanalyze the future, because the future isn't here yet. We get the decision to create the future every single day that we wake up. And so if you're in a rut, stuck in the rut, use the love in your heart to dig your way out of this, because somebody's going through a restoration of some sort, shedding light on these negative vices, this victim mentality, defending themselves from negative forces, and I think digging themselves up out of this gutter level energy. And that's kind of what I got, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below, and I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.